Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing a date, an hour, and a minute written somewhere you could never erase, the exact moment your life will end. At first, you might think knowing would make life easier. No uncertainty, no guessing, no fear of the unknown. But then you realize something terrifying. Every ordinary moment now has a countdown. You look at your family differently. You hear every conversation differently. And suddenly, even a normal morning feels like something you are borrowing from the future. Some people might quit their jobs, chase their dreams, or finally say what they were too afraid to say, while others might become prisoners of the number they were given. But if humanity could know the exact second of its own death, would that knowledge give us freedom, or would it quietly destroy the way we experience being alive? For most of human history, death has been terrifying partly because it is uncertain. We know it will happen, but we don't know when, where, or how, and that uncertainty shapes almost everything we do. Psychologists call this awareness of mortality a powerful force in human behavior. It can influence our priorities, our relationships, our beliefs, and even the risks we are willing to take. Now, remove the uncertainty. Imagine every person receives a precise timestamp for their death, perhaps decades in advance. Suddenly, the greatest mystery of existence becomes the most personal piece of information imaginable. A person told they will live until 80 might take risks that once seemed impossible, while someone told they have only 6 months might abandon everything and search for meaning before the clock reaches 0. But there is a darker possibility. What happens when the date becomes more important than the life surrounding it, and people begin living for their final moment instead of the thousands of moments before it? At first, knowing your death date could create an extraordinary sense of purpose. Decisions that once felt impossible might suddenly become obvious because every choice would exist against a clearly visible deadline. You might finally call someone you have avoided for years, travel somewhere you always dreamed about, leave a career that made you miserable, or spend more time with the people who actually matter. But the human brain is not designed to experience an exact countdown to its own death without consequences. Constant awareness of mortality can create anxiety, obsessive thinking, and a powerful urge to regain control. And control is where the story becomes strange, because even if the date were scientifically certain, humans would still try to challenge it. Some would search for loopholes, others would seek experimental treatments, and many would simply refuse to believe it. Imagine being told you will die at 11:43 p.m. on a specific night, then reaching 11:44 and realizing the prediction was wrong. Would you feel immortal, betrayed, or more terrified than ever? Because the moment humans discovered that death could be predicted, they would immediately begin asking the one question that could change civilization forever. Can the future actually be changed?
If the death date were truly unchangeable, society itself could begin reorganizing around it. Insurance, medicine, careers, relationships, retirement, and even laws might all change when everyone knows exactly how much time they have left. A person with 40 years remaining might be treated differently from someone with 4 months remaining, and that creates an uncomfortable question about how much value we secretly attach to time. Governments could potentially plan around millions of known death dates. Hospitals might prioritize treatment differently. Companies might recruit people based on predicted longevity, and entire industries could emerge around helping people spend their remaining time. Relationships could become even stranger. Imagine meeting someone and knowing exactly when they will die. Would you become more attached because every moment feels precious, or would you avoid them because the ending is already written? And then comes the psychological trap. When the brain knows the exact endpoint, every unexpected event begins to look like a clue. A headache, a car problem, a strange dream, anything could suddenly feel connected to the countdown. The greatest danger might not be knowing when you will die, but slowly forgetting how to live without thinking about it. Yet there is one possibility that changes everything. What if knowing the exact time of your death doesn't actually make you live better? What if it makes you live less freely? Research on mortality awareness suggests that people often respond to reminders of death by protecting their identities, beliefs, relationships, and sense of meaning. Because the human mind does not simply fear death, it tries to make life feel significant in the face of it.
Now imagine that reminder never disappears. Not a distant idea, not an abstract fear, but a clock counting down inside your mind every single day. You could become more courageous, but you could also become more cautious, more grateful, but also more anxious, more focused on meaning, or completely obsessed with the final number. And perhaps the biggest revelation is this: the uncertainty of death may not be the flaw in human existence that we desperately want to eliminate. It may be one of the reasons we value existence at all. Because if every human being knew exactly when the story would end, we might gain the knowledge we have always wanted, but lose the mystery that makes every ordinary moment feel infinitely valuable. If this documentary made you look at your own time differently, consider leaving a like if you genuinely enjoyed exploring this mystery with us. Subscribe to Zexa if you want more documentaries about the hidden psychology, science, evolution, and mysteries shaping human existence. And tell us in the comments, if you could know the exact moment of your death, would you choose to find out, or would you rather live without knowing? Your answer might reveal something deeper about how the human mind deals with uncertainty, fear, and the meaning of life. And in the next documentary, we'll explore another disturbing question about humanity, one that may change the way you see your own mind forever.